Guys, forget everything you ever learned about matching your undertone based off of cool and warm. I'm gonna teach you today the easiest way to finding your foundation shade while shopping online. Hi guys, my name is Sahi. This is the first of very many videos I'll be posting on YouTube. I plan on posting weekly, so please make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of my new videos on tips and tricks to looking your absolute best. So today I'm going to teach you guys how to match your foundation while shopping online. It's not an easy thing to do. The first thing I'm going to do is cover the 3 different undertones and make it really simple for you to figure out which one you are, right? So most foundation shades don't go by undertone, but you can figure it out yourself based off of your past experiences. So I'm going to be using Sahi Cosmetics, the Skin Perfecting Elixir Foundation, and I'm going to be showing you 3 different undertones on my face within the same shade level. So I'm shade level 3, okay, and I have P3, I have N3, and I have Y3. So the 3 undertones are pink, neutral, and yellow. It's really simple to figure out which one you are. So I'm going to start with swatching P3 onto my face. If you get a chance to do this in the store, make sure you not only swatch on your face, but also bring it down to the neckline. So that one is P3. This one is N3 or neutral 3. All right, and this one is Y3, which is the yellow undertone. So I have all 3 undertones on my face, and if you can tell, the P3 matches my cheeks really well right now because I'm under these bright lights and I'm becoming really flushed. But I don't want to match the flushed color of my cheeks because that's actually a surface tone. It's not my undertone. If you can see, the P on my neck right here is a little bit too pink for me, and then the Y is a little bit too yellow for me. So neutral is the way to go. I mean, it practically disappears on my neck. You can't even see the shade on my neck, and that's the best thing to do, would be to find your undertone where you don't have any surface pigmentation, rosacea. Some of us tan more easily on our face and we end up looking a lot more yellow than we actually are. And then your foundation after a week, it's not actually gonna match your skin. So this is the best way to figure out what your undertone is, by matching your neck. Now, if you're shopping online, this is what I suggest. Look at all of your past experiences of really bad foundations. If you are a pink undertone, most likely you had foundations that are way too yellow for you or way too ashy. The ashy means you got a neutral undertone foundation and it wasn't pink enough for you. If you're a neutral undertone, then there have been chances where you've had foundations that were too pink or too yellow. You're really in the middle and you need something that has a little bit more of a gray tone to it, and that'll really bring out your own complexion. If you are a yellow undertone, you've definitely had chances where your foundation has been too pink for you. You end up looking like Oompa Loompa, Donald Trump. You end up looking like Oompa Loompa or Donald Trump. Or you've had the same scenario where you've tried a neutral foundation and it looks too ashy on you. So taking a look at your past experience with bad foundations can actually help you become better equipped to figure out what your next foundation actually should be. Once you know what your undertone is, then comes the matching your skin shade. So I already started off with level 3. I already knew that I was an N3 in Sahi Cosmetics, but let's say you don't know, and there's a foundation rate that goes from light to really dark, and you have to figure out which shade you are now that you already know your undertone. Well, the first thing I would do is I would look at reviews on the foundation and see if there's any pictures of people with different foundation shades. A lot of times brands will actually post images of models with each foundation shade, which makes it easier to look and see what your shade is. I also suggest to be very careful about swatch pictures that brands actually post. Most times brands just make one swatch and get all of the other colors photoshopped so that all the swatches look exactly identical. That is not a true swatch of all the different shades. You need to be very careful about that. It's dangerous because if you try to match that shade, chances are the foundation that comes home is not going to be your shade. So I highly suggest that you look and see other models and see if their neck color matches your neck color, because that really shows the undertone. And lastly, I would look for a brand that has a really good return policy or an exchange policy. I know Sahi Cosmetics has a money back guarantee and they have a free exchange as well. So if you don't have your foundation shade, but you tried one out and said, all right, that one is just a little too dark for me, then you can easily contact the company and ask for an exchange, send the bottle back and get a new one, free of charge. Now I'm gonna leave you guys with 3 tips to making sure that when you get your perfect foundation, it lays perfectly on your skin. Tip number 1, warm up the foundation on the back of your hand. If you make a small pump of foundation on the back of your hand and let it sit there for, I would say like 30 seconds, you'll see the foundation starts to become a little bit more runny. That's because the emulsifiers in the formula are warming up and it's making it more liquidy and it will glide onto your skin more smoothly. As you can tell, the foundation has started to warm up on my hand. It makes sure that the foundation doesn't cling to dry patches or, for instance, places where you might have acne, little bumps and mishaps. If the foundation is actually warm, it'll smooth it out a little bit better than if it were to go on your face completely cold. Tip number 2, make sure you exfoliate your skin really well before applying foundation. Now, I'm not talking about going deep with scrubs. I'm talking about using a gentle daily cleanser that might have a glycolic acid in it or something that helps increase cell turnover so that you get a fresh layer of skin in the morning to apply your foundation. And tip number 3, make sure you use a really good primer. Primer. This guy will set your makeup in place, but here's the caveat. Everyone says use a primer. You need to make sure that the primer is the same base and consistency as the foundation. So if your foundation is oil-based, please make sure your primer is also oil-based and not water-based, because then your makeup's gonna slip and slide everywhere. This has happened to me on numerous occasions when I used other brands that had really silky feeling primers, and it didn't end up working with my foundation, which was water-based. Everything just slipped and slid off my face. I would touch my face like this and my makeup would come off. So make sure that you have a good pairing of products. Generally, brands will do a primer that matches their foundation. So just do your research and make sure you have something that you can put under the foundation that will help it last longer. And tip number 4, make sure you set your makeup with powder if you have time. What happens is the liquid itself will settle into your face and be like a powder for most brands, but it's always good to do a light dust of powder on top to make sure everything will stay in place and it won't move. That includes your bronzer and your concealer as well. Set it all in place with some light powder. Don't overdo it because the powder will oxidize and it will change colors on you, and it won't be the foundation's fault, it will be the powder's fault. So keep these tricks in mind when you are applying your most perfect foundation. I hope you guys have learned a lot from this video. If you've liked the content and you want to learn more, please hit the subscribe button because I'll be posting every single week cool content that you guys, I hope, will find relevant and helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, bye. This can also put in the middle of a YouTube video. The disrespect is real. Shh. 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 Okay.